Prepare to be dazzled.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. I have Calvin here, who's going to dazzle us today. We just did the offensive set, the core offensive team set, so that goes directly with these teams. We don't have hardly any overlap between the offensive and defensive teams, but that'll be in the video description. I talked about Calvin a little bit on the last one, but in case you missed that, Calvin is part of the Gambit Alliance. He is a highly successful GAC player, like just ridiculously good, better player than I am certainly, and he's got a smaller-ish account, though not that much smaller. What size is your account, Calvin? Like 8 point?
Yeah,
something?
I just hit 8.2. I did have to bloat a little bit to get there with some useless stuff, but I am technically there.
Tell me why you need to bloat to 8.2. Like, you just thought that would be a good number to get to, or?
Well, I just those small margin things. Like this is a little unrelated, but there was a few weeks ago where I had to burn down a gas team in 3v3 with just a ton of junk. Like, I think the best team I threw out was like a Krennic Death Trooper team, and just having all those characters at least up to gear 9 or whatever with mods on, like that did make the difference to be able to get Gas's protection down so that something better could come in and kill him.
Oh yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, so it was strategic bloat. It wasn't just like 8.2 is my favorite number.
yeah, it was. Let's see how high I can get with what I have.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the defensive teams. Obviously, folks, this isn't just like the Bible. Don't just place these teams and then you're like, what the hell do I do with all my Galactic Legends now? Like, you're going to have to add Galactic Legends, and if you have them. We did try though to make a lot of these teams kind of dissolvable into a Galactic Legend team and stuff. So, and we have a bunch of YouTube videos that'll show you guys in actual GACs how we're doing Galactic Legends. So you guys can check that out. That being said, go to the video description, click on Calvin's YouTube stuff. I'll have a link to his really good podcast, and start watching him. He's a good player. Do yourself a favor.
Yep, we do a lot of my all of my GAC recaps on the channel, as well as like a lot of other informative GAC stuff, whether it be modding or counters or anything of the sort.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good channel, guys. Go check it out. So we're talking about defensive teams, and I mean, I hate to relegate any specific team. Like, nope, you're always defense. I think one of the teams that I consistently place, because I'm like, you're so awkward on offense because you never get good banners anyways, General Skywalker and the 501st. Like, I just, it's like they'll kill things for me, and I'm like, well, that wasn't that scary, but at the same time, like, you lost all your banners, dude. Like, can you stop? Like, what? How often do you take gas on offense, Calvin?
I never do. He's always, so his big purpose for me on defense is in the bottom front wall. He's GL bait. Like that's his main purpose. His main purpose is for them to burn C or whatever it is on him, so that when they get to the back wall and they have to face JML and JMK or whatever it is, it becomes a little bit harder. And yeah, I don't like him too. I mean, he works on offense. He'll kill a ton of stuff, but it's very similar to like the Malevolence in the sense of like the best ideal strategy is for one of your characters to be dead by the end of it. I don't really love that for offense.
Well, and you've gotten Kyber Premier several times. Like, you've obviously, mastered efficiency, like maxing out banners. And I mean, losing though, I tend to be like, we still have most of our characters. Like, we were able to mostly get it done on offense. But even, I mean, you're right. You want fives to die? Like,
yeah, that's the idea. That's the ideal outcome.
Yeah, like what the hell? Like, I modded you with protection for what? Like, just so you could die. So yeah, really good bait team. Though I will say, if someone has a really good count, like if you're scouting people and you see that they're like, oh yeah, I just use like this really cheap bounty hunter team to beat it, or like they consistently use Maul to beat it or something, like maybe at least think about, because if someone can get high banners against your General Skywalker team, then it's not really costing him that much. Like, that team was constructed to get a cheap win against General Skywalker. And if that's the case, like, playing into their strategy is potentially ungood. But that's the case for most of these squads. So, next we have Maul, and I really like Maul on his own, even though he's supposed to be with Lord Vader, I hear. What do you use Maul for? I mean, you put him on defense a lot.
Dude, this is the exact team I put down.
Okay, so what? Like, you don't use Django to speed up scoundrels or anything.
Yeah, so the main reason for this comp is Armorer loves to play with Galactic Legends. So does Watt, and Bam really likes to be on his own team. So this is kind of what you're left with. And one of the reasons I also really like it is, again, it actually works in tandem with the gas team, because one of the cheap solutions, I guess we'll call it, it's really not, to gas is CLS. And if I can give you a much more attractive option to use CLS against, which is typically Maul, then I'm going to continue to push you towards the Galactic Legend on gas. So that's really his purpose, is to eat CLS or another like-minded counter that's going to make the overall picture happen.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, gosh, you know what? This isn't even going to be. I've seen Maul be able to, in 3v3, be able to kill. Like, if you get a high relic, like if you get relic 9 on Maul and just stack him with a ton of health, under Armorer lead, you can actually just kill General Skywalker teams pretty consistently, because he can just eat the big hit from Rex. Like, but I don't know. We should probably just move on from that. It's very intriguing, though. I keep wanting to try it. So, how often has anyone ever used Jawas on this team? I'm just curious, because it's something I'm so interested in. Like, when you put it on defense, do Jawas beat it? Against you, at least.
They've never used it against me. I still play Mon Mothma. I think that ends up being the more tempting option of the two. And I'm still, like, I'm a little weary of that with Bo-Katan there, because she provides about, maybe not this exact comp, but she typically provides 100 extra % protection, which, with thermals being health-based damage and her protection recovery she gets when they assist, it's a little bit hard for them to outpace that, especially if everyone's just being, quote-unquote lazy, and they're taking their Maul that had their, like, Lord Vader team mods, which is full protection. Like, Maul's not gonna die if he's modded for, like, max protection with Bo-Katan's recovery and her protection in there. Although if he's health modded, then yeah, he'll probably just blow up.
That's fair. I hope he does. Yeah, it's fun on offense too, though. Droideka. You also, I guess we should point out, Droideka needs to be, like, ruinously fast. Really, like, his whole goal is to go first, so that you get Maul. You trigger Maul's frenzy. So, like, yeah. Mine. I think I took my speed off of him. Let me see. Maybe I embarrassed myself, but yeah, like,
I still do.
Yeah, he's not fast. He gets another 50% on top of it, so. Yeah, how fast is yours?
I'm looking up right now. I want to say somewhere in the 250 range. And yeah, you have to have him. Yeah, he's 262. So after you include his speed boost, he's somewhere, I think, in the ballpark of like 380 or 390. And like you were saying, he really has to be ruinous speeds, because if you have him at like an effective 330 and your Maul is like 320, like, you're not really doing anything.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, I feel like, especially in 3v3, I saw some people who were just running their Maul straight up at like 360 speed, and it's like, well, because Maul can just naturally be that fast, and in that case, I mean, he's like, fine, I'll just do this myself, because, in threes you kind of need something that does that.
I had that exact fight. I think it was in my last or second to last match, where it was Maul counters Droideka, and Droideka was slower than Maul. I was like, this is, like, pointless. But I mean, Nest would have eaten it either way, so works for me.
That's fair. All right, so we have Darth Revan here, and it's just kind of this weird, like, I don't know, like, what should the Darth Revan team is so variable right now, and it's for one more month. We'll get Darth Malgus soon,
Oh yeah.
and then all the full complexion of Darth Revan changes. But I mean, this is like the classic Darth Revan team. It's like can troopers chew through that Sith Empire trooper fast enough? Because we don't have what's her name here, Talon, to make him faster. I don't know, like what. So this is on defense, and like what's typically your plan for Darth Revan on defense? Like, obviously, if Galactic Legends are here, Malak might be off gallivanting with Sith Empire or Sith Eternal Emperor, etc. But what are you trying to do with Darth Revan?
So his purpose has honestly kind of fallen in the last 6 months. We've seen a lot of other teams get essentially reinforcements, and they've been able to a lot of things that weren't able to counter Darth Revan before now do it with great ease. I think Bounty Hunters and First Order are probably the two classic examples of that. That being said, he's just part of the overall picture. He's trying to draw out a larger counter that can't be used against, say BAM or Dash or CLS or Gas or one of those options. You're trying to drain the resources, but he's not. He definitely. He's fallen a lot in value, not just necessarily on defense, but just in general in the last 6 months with all these other squads getting better units. And like you said, he's not really going to get back to where he was until we get Malgus in game,
right? So
in a roster.
So how fast are you making your Darth Revan right now?
He's still pretty fast. He's still I think he's exactly 350. I just took a little bit off of them.
Nice.
For Starkiller's team.
Yeah, and that's fair. You really want to fast Mara Jade. But yeah, mine is in the 340 range, and if I want him to be in the 360s, that's achievable if I want to use Talon. So, I think Nest is also another strategic thing. For me, I typically don't have Malak on the team. Sometimes I do just to mess with people, but I don't want to make it super easy for people to use troopers. A lot of times people will save Death Trooper just so their troopers can beat a Darth Revan team that has Nest in it. So I like scouting their offense is actually really important there, because if they're constantly doing that, it's like, well, maybe I won't use the Nest variant on Darth Revan, but sometimes I want Sith Empire Trooper with Treya. Like, it's all just this weird mix and match thing. Yeah, and now we have one more awkward month, and then he's gonna just go off with Malgus, or I guess we'll do 3v3, and who knows what the hell. He's probably gonna have a similar team in 3v3 to previous, and Malgus can go have his new team. So, Starkiller, you just got Starkiller. What are your plans with him?
So my plans are pretty much exactly what we're looking at. He's going to be going on defense with GK, and this is a little bit reflective of a consequence that we're seeing with Datacrons and JMK. We're not going to get into the Datacron itself, but basically my strategy going forward for JMK is going to be to mirror, because it looks like a lot of the off-meta counters are kind of going down the tube with his Datacron. And I don't want to take in GK just to get blown to pieces in the first second of the fight, when I can just take in, Jedi Knight Guardian that can do that, when I can put GK here and make a lot of counters a lot more pain in the butt. I think First Order is going to be something that's kind of on the rise to counter this, and GK really just stops that cold. The team doesn't have enough buff immunity or shock or anything like that to be able to stop him from constantly taunting or putting out crit immunity. And he also just kind of makes the Grievous counter a little bit rougher. Like, Grievous can sometimes beat it, but there are just some times where GK will get the cleanse and your target lock's gone and the team just wrecks you.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think I put it on offense and I put it on defense both. I mean, I think one of the consequences of doing this without using any GLs at all is I want to use all of these teams for offense, because a lot of times my Galactic Legends, at least a large number of them, are on defense, and when I do that means that I have to get by with using teams that are a little less perfect, like Starkiller and stuff. So putting him as defense, I'm like, he's my strongest team though. Like, I need to kill some Galactic Legends with something, but yeah, like he can absolutely work. And I'll just say this, because I've used Kenobi a ton of times on offense, and when I replace him, if I put a lesser Jedi tank with him, it is worlds different. General Kenobi just makes this team 1,000 times better. 1,000 times is exaggerating, but it is a very, very noticeable difference. So, yeah, I like him with that. Of course, yeah, Jedi Master Kenobi, it's like, I guess in the perfect world, General Kenobi can be with them, but the end of the day. Like you said, he just gets destroyed instantly by a lot of these counters. So why not put him somewhere he's going to actually make a huge noticeable difference? Bam. Because we don't have Galactic Legends here, like Kat, she's like, hey, we get to hang out with someone. So have you actually used Kat with Bam before?
Never in PvP. I've done this a few times in territory battles, and it's a whole lot of fun because their 50% offense boost to him. He's like, oh, my whistling birds, they blow up a lot more things. But yeah, I've never used it in PvP, I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've done it. I've done the same. Like in phase 3 of, like, say, territory battles, like just yeah, like that health boost is really nice. Obviously, the offense boost. I think so. The thing we were talking about while we were like making this list was like the BAM trio is very difficult to separate. Like you probably don't want to do that very often unless you're doing something really weird and specialized, which isn't the purpose of this video. But then the other 2 slots are kind of like you can kind of just take whoever, and Kat slots in well because she's a scoundrel. You could easily put Nest in. Like I don't think Nest is in any of these teams actually. You could easily put like Boba Fett in here.
Yep.
Like there's not much reason not to. I do like Dengar here though, guys. Just as something to point out. His AOE. So you pointed out, Calvin. Like yeah, it also helps that when his thermals explode, it causes more instances of damage. But then beyond that, he also just does 2 extra little bits of damage as well. Like if you read the top, it deals physical damage to all enemies, and then it deals physical damage to 2 times to random enemies. So, and every instance of damage is another whistling bird. So, against a 5-person team, it does 7 whistling birds instead of 5.
Oh, and it's also just more turn meter to get you back around because of Bam's lead. And I think he also puts out damage over time on that as well. So he's a very, very good fit for this team. If anyone's ever run Dash in here, but also wants to run Dash in another team, he's very much he feels like a lot like a budget Dash.
Yeah, I think that's a great description. I never used Dash with this team, but I think my alt actually needs to start doing that because I finally have my Dash to respectable levels, and then all my scout or smugglers are just total trash. So, speaking of Dash, this isn't my alt account because they're not total trash. I like so I have a relic, YOLO, or whatever his name is, Landino. So I'll be using it for offense sometimes to kill some interesting stuff. But otherwise on defense, like what are you using Dash for on defense? And do you have the Omicron for him?
So I do have the Omicron. I run a slightly different team. He's kind of an overall board picture. My issue with him is, this is a me problem. Half my team is gear 12, like Kira and Vandor gear 12. L3 is, I think, R1. And my Vet Han is actually who I use for the 5th to knock down the stagger. He's R3. And it calls out Treya. Someone will take in the relic Treya and just obliterate it. But that's one less thing they have to use against Iden. That's one less thing they have to use against my Mon Mothma. That's pretty much what it does.
It's a speed bump team. Yeah, and honestly, you need those speed bump teams. Like like I keep saying, scouting their offensive teams is going to be way more helpful than scouting defense a lot of times, at least against someone who changes their defense up. Because on offense, a lot of times people have their comfort teams, and so you have the Treya squad that can absolutely come and just wreck this Dash team. Even if I have him super fast, I think he's one of the fastest mod sets on my roster, like 366. So he's an effective 386 with his leadership, and Treya's like, I don't care. Like I'm like 100 speed. You can lap me like 7 times. I don't even care. Like you still die. But what that does, like you said, it changes the dynamic a lot. So, he's a good man. I like him. I'm really going to try my very best to use him on offense a little bit at least, because I want Landino to do some interesting stuff. So, all right. We have Jedi Training Ray available. So do you actually? I typically put at the very least I put Jedi Training Ray, and sometimes that's it with actual Rey. But I guess you don't have Rey, so
No, I
you
don't. Yeah, I don't know. This is my resistance team.
yeah, okay. All right. So not the right question. I was going to say how often do you know, like fold this team into the Ray team, but okay, that's fair. But you still have Relic BB-8.
He is R1.
Well, that's fair. And then I mean, this team is good. How fast is your hero Finn?
He's not super fast. I want to say he's in the ballpark of 320.
Yeah, that's fair. On this team, you don't need him to be fast. I think that's kind of the thing that people need to wrap their minds around. Like on a
The
Ray
droids
team,
get things going.
oh yeah, like he's actually, even if you make him 340 speed, he's the fastest on the team. He is like the fourth or fifth to act on the team, because as long as you have a half fast BB-8, because BB-8 gets turn meter, R2D2 gets a lot of turn meter, Jedi training Ray gets the turn meter, etc. Yeah, there's no point in putting a lot of speed on Hero Finn. Did you put him Relic 7? I keep seeing that lately.
He's only Relic 5.
Oh yeah.
He's lucky to be there, to be quite honest. I think he was sitting at like Relic 1 for a very long time as well.
Well, I mean, he's such a good, like, he does a lot of damage, but on this team, like, a lot of it's just perpetuating the turn meter madness.
And they deal so much max health damage between pose unique and exposed damage. I think I did really R5 was mostly because I will eventually go for Ray, and because I just didn't want him to die as much.
And that's absolutely fair. I mean, and he does a decent amount of damage. I also like his grenade of healing. Like, it's just so funny. Like, and it makes this team so hard to zerg if you don't have the right team. Like,
They are a pain, yeah.
yeah, if you can get your troopers faster than their BB-8, it's like, well, fish in a barrel, easy enough. But if you don't have the right team, or if the turn meter loaded, like, this could be a really tough team to dislodge. I fat fingered something again. Here we go. All right. So next up, we have Nightsisters. Do you have a Nightsisters team that's relict, Calvin?
So I have a Relic Daka. She's R5, but they get folded into Springlet or Kylo Ren almost every single round. I can't. It's been months since I've left them on defense.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't use the Kylo counter that often. I just like Kylo to do other things. So usually he's just sitting there on defense, and if he's on defense, you typically do just want your first order. Like you want Hux and you want full first order, so you can deny turn meter gain, so that troopers don't just annihilate you. So sometimes I throw Nightsisters on defense, and I will say, Asajj lead has been really throwing people off. I bet I got like 2 or 3 holds against people last season, which, I mean, for Nightsisters, it's like, holy crap, can I get that every season? That would be amazing. I mean, they're easy to underestimate, I guess, but also not a team that you need to prioritize until all they need is like an Omicron to make them just so dirty.
I'm really surprised they haven't gotten one, and my tinfoil hat tells me we're getting Merrim. Like that's the only reason they haven't gotten an Omicron. Like that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Well yeah, and so yeah, we either get her or I I think it's CG being gloomy, actually, because how many times has the player base just been like, I broke the game, CG, I broke, like, like the different raids and everything. It's just like endless loop. Oh, here's another endless loop. Like, let's pull in Jedi. Let's pull, like, they're working with Supreme Leader Kylo right now to counter Lord Vader team. Like, that's not what they wanted. I guarantee they weren't just like, oh yeah, like, one of the most consistent counters that we're gonna build into Lord Vader is going to be Supreme Leader Kylo with like this really old, Nightsisters duo. Like, and so throwing an Omicron on them, they're like literally might be the best team. Like we might actually achieve a stun locked Rey with Daka if we put this Omicron on.
I mean, that never dies.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, I think CG doesn't want to do it. So, all right, you like Qui-Gon. You put him on defense?
He rotates. He rotates pretty frequently. If I sit, depending on how my opponent uses Bad Batch, it determines where he goes. Like I've had a few weird opponents that will put their Bad Batch on defense. I'm like, okay, enjoy Qui-Gon Jinn without Bad Batch, and your Empire's folded into Lord Vader. But yeah, they'll be there, and I have a really funky modding with Mace for it to get him to work with this team. Like he's loaded with tenacity and really low health, so he's constantly triggering Jedi Anakin's bonus turns. And then Kit Fisto is in there as a kind of use one AOE and get smacked, and Barris is constantly dispelling stuff. It again, if you have the right team to take it out, it's a pretty easy win. But at the same time, it can be a major pain in the butt.
Do you mod any of them for tenacity?
Mace.
Mace
is the big
one.
one.
Oh, that's right. You were telling us that, yeah, the other night. What? Out of curiosity, because he's a required like
it's
you need
low.
him relic. You need his relic 3, for an unlock, I think, or maybe relic 4.
JMK.
But then otherwise, like I put him to 7. I'm like I just don't know. He wants all the stats. It's like should I just get him to 9? I mean, that's the answer is no. But like, what's yours? What's your
so
relic
definitely
level?
not for this team. Mine is only relic 3 the same way he needed to be for JMK. And I mean, the main reason his relics don't matter on this team is because he's invincible as long as Qui-Gon Jinn is still alive.
Right.
So you don't really need him to be up there. And like I said, I like him with low health because it makes him really easy to get up and below that threshold for Jedi Anakin to keep getting ticked off and just destroying everyone. Right. But yeah.
That's fair. I like putting Ki-Adi-Mundi with this team if he's fast, but as well. But if there's other uses for Cam as well. All right, so CLS, I feel so cringy about putting him on defense because, frankly, like this is one of those things. Like Iden teams, if they're relict enough, like they'll beat this team actually, fairly consistently. I don't know. What do you kill Commander Luke with if your opponent does this?
He's kind of my get out of jail free card in offense. And if I have to go against one on defense, it just depends on what they've pulled from my roster already. But the two top teams that typically take it out is the Mirror and General Grievous. Those are my go-to.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, fast Han Solo and stuff. How fast is your Han? Out of curiosity.
He's not. I want to say he's 283.
Oh, okay. So not the fastest.
Memory serves me.
We just like ran out of teams. We were like, I want to take everything on offense. So he's okay on defense.
This is just kind of the reality of what we were trying to do here with Galactic Legends, because very rarely would a 6 GL account put 0 on defense. This is just kind of a consequence of that.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, I mean, they don't accomplish nothing on defense. And if you read your opponent's defense and offenses right, like every once in a while, this team, it's like this is really tough to deal with for some like if they don't have the right teams and you put them in the front, like there's a couple teams that beat it. That's the case for a lot of these defensive teams. If you do have the right counter, it's easy. It's, really, really high banner. But if you put all those teams on defense or have them all weirdly proportioned, like CLS can really mess with someone. Like I wouldn't want to, for instance. It's like, okay, I have General Skywalker on offense. I guess I could maybe take him against Commander Luke, but I wouldn't feel good about it.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah,
it probably works, but doesn't sound fun.
Oh man, yeah, and it might not work either. Like you probably kill something. And finally, our last team, we have Treya, and honestly, she should probably be higher up so we can kind of compare and contrast with the Darth Revan team. But I mean, I like to put Barris here. I think Barris is our only overlap character actually. Just because she is just so mix and match. Like I could use her on a ton of different teams, but I mean Treya on defense, I always feel a little sketch about that too. But I mean, if again, people don't know how to beat Treya. I feel like that's one of the best things. They're like, what the hell do I do against Treya? Like, what do you do against Treya? If you have to, I have no idea.
I think we faced a weak one a while ago that we used Bad Batch against, but that's her strongest asset. Is she doesn't have like a clear-cut counter. Like I could look at just the two teams here. Luke, Great Grievous or Mirror, very easy decision. Qui-Gon Jinn, it would be Bad Batch or Empire, very clear decision. Treya, I don't know. Like I've seen troopers work a lot, but I've also seen them get really low, and then Scion gets an AoE off, and things start to go really wacky really quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if Nihilus gains enough turn meter against troopers, and like you let something in, it's like he just does one AOE and it's over, you know. So yeah, it. So on defense, sometimes on offense a lot, but offense they're awkward too because they like get a lot of banners dropped. But I do like Barris with them. If I do take, because a lot of times you're wading into something that goes really fast, and your tray is like, I'm not fast, so I guess I'll just I'll lose a bunch of banners, and Barris can help us stay alive.
Yeah, helps weather the storm to get you there.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's about it. Calvin, any other words of wisdom before we send everyone on their way?
Nope, I think it's about it. If you guys want to check out the channel, Calvin Space Awesome on YouTube, love to have you.
Yeah, guys. Calvin, thanks so much for doing this with me, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Agreed.
All right, man. Take care. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth is awesome.
And prevails.
And stays awesome. And so does Kelvin.